It was supposed to bring you here.
But anybody that don't know what West King Street is Highway
West
40.
King Avenue. West King Avenue.
It's the same as Highway 40. The Dollar General store, we were right at the end of the Dollar General store. You can't miss it.
If you make it to the parking lot, you win.
If I made it here, found it, I know you can. I'll put it like that.
So again, we're here. Apparently I'm not that great with live, but I'm going to get better as time keeps going. But we're here with candidate for Secretary of State, Dr. John Eaves. Here physically, if you got questions, we've got to log in. We're here physically. Come on by, get your question in. This is our time to interact with the candidates. There's candidates that have passed by us and for whatever reason not realized that Camden is here. So we're making an extended effort to ensure that every Democrat in Camden County has the opportunity to meet the candidates face to face.
Yes.
And express what their concerns are for that particular office.
And also, there's one question that Camden County we really need to focus on and ask about, and that is the port. I mean, not the port, but where they're going to launch the rocket, testing the rockets. A lot of money has been spent by Camden County about that situation. Now, what is it? It's the
taxpayer money in the spaceport.
Yeah, the spaceport. So the spaceport is really on hold now. But the only way that we're going to find out information, we got to come here, and we got to ask Senator here, elect the information so he can let us know. Because see, here's the thing that's got to be fair. Even if they open up the spaceport, it's the hiring going to be balanced, going to be fair, going to be profitable for everybody in Camden County. We ain't talking just Caucasian or black. We talking about everybody. It has to be a balance. So,
or are they going to bring their own people in?
They're going to bring their own people in, but it's a lot of money, it's a lot of employment, it's a lot of time that's being wasted right now having to make a decision. Understand, we're not talking about thousands, we're talking about millions of dollars that can be profitable for Camden County citizens.
Residents, yeah.
Yeah, citizens. So the only way that we can make a difference, sometimes we need to show up and ask the right questions.
Exactly. And this is just one of those times that's being afforded. So I recommend that you come out. Yes, the candidate is here. Candidate for Secretary of State, Dr. John Eaves is here. He's present. He's answering questions. He's interacting with our Democratic Party, the people that have come out to interact. So come, call, and I'm going to check with the website to make sure that that's working as well. All right, so got a couple people. Who do we have here? All right, Mr. Eveready, Eddie. Got Kevin Walker. Good to see you, Keisa. So, is there any questions that you wanted answered, or something that you wanted to ask?
I don't have any questions, but I would say, do you all have a topic that candidate is going to be discussing at this time, or it's just an open?
How do you want to run?
Yeah, thank you so much for
I can bring it over there if you want, or you want to.
I'm going to just talk about my candidacy, my background, what I want to do as Secretary of State of Georgia, why I'm here in Camden County, why it's important for me to be here to hear you and listen to you, and answer any questions that you and anybody else has about the Secretary of State's office, about my candidacy. So I'm going to give maybe about a 10-minute presentation and then open it up to questions that anyone has. Does that sound good? So how you
Okay, thank you.
So how you want me to do it? You got
Wherever you want to be.
Okay.
Let me put let's put your, we don't have a podium yet, but we working on that.
Okay.
Hey, did y'all notice this new addition? Hey.
Sit down, I can stand up, whatever you think.
Wherever you want to be.
Okay.
You notice, we, yeah, sure.
Okay.
You can have a seat. We'll make it look, oh, let me do it the right way. I'm trying. Huh? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Your sister, represent Camden.
How's that?
So I can represent the Camden.
This is great. This is great.
Let's go.
Well, Kelvin, well, thank you so much for having me here and members of the community here in Camden County and Charlton County. Thank you so
Yes!
much.
Thank you.
I know that this was sort of impromptu. I was in Savannah and Jay Jones said, John, you ought to go to Bryan County. I went to Bryan County Saturday night and Teresa Timmons said, I know Kelvin Blue down in Camden County. I said, well, I'm going to Jacksonville. And so she connected me to Kelvin. And so that's why I'm here. So thank you so much, all of you, for being so flexible, so spontaneous, and allow me the opportunity to meet you and to come to Camden County. And so even though I live in Atlanta, I want all of you to know that I actually have Camden County roots.
All right.
Yes.
How did that work?
I am from Jacksonville, Florida. From Rains High School in Jacksonville, Florida.
All right.
Just 35 miles from here.
Hey.
And in 1958, my father came to Jacksonville, Florida, back home with his master's degree and his Morehouse degree. He got a master's from Atlanta University and a Morehouse degree. He went to teach in Jacksonville, Florida. And they said, if you want to teach, you have to pay a fee.
Oh, God.
A special license fee. So my father, out of protest, had a friend, a cousin, who was teaching at Ralph Bunch High School in Camden County. She said, come on up to Camden County. My father taught at Ralph Bunch High School in the late 1950s. And Joanne Maynard, who's in Woodbine right now, I saw her 2 months ago, and she told me stories about my dad teaching at Ralph Bunch High School.
Wow.
So even though I live in Atlanta, from Jacksonville, I got roots in this part of the state of Georgia. So you might as well call me kinfolk.
That's right.
So just thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm running to be your next Secretary of State. I am here because I consider South and coastal Georgia very important. Even though you may not have, hundreds of thousands of Democrats, the numbers of voters here count. Exactly. And not only do the numbers of voters here count, but people who are here count. And I've heard stories and I've heard concerns all over the state. I have been to Woodbine, I've been to Waycross, I've been to Valdosta, I've been to Macon, I've been to LaGrange, I've been to Albany, I've been to Savannah, I've been to Bryan County, and now I'm here. I've been to Brunswick, and now I'm here. Georgia's want somebody in the Secretary of State's office who's going to be fair, going to have integrity, and who's going to do the right thing. This election is the most important election in the whole country. That's just not me saying that. I was listening to CNN 3 weeks ago. They were talking about how Trump is manipulating Secretary of State candidates around the country and how their Republicans are pledging allegiance to him, trying to get his endorsement. And all of them are embracing the big lie. And they said because of this, the Secretary of State races are important around the country, and of all the races, Georgia is the most important. Georgia is at the epicenter. And so what I am endeavoring to do is really important. And I'm running on a platform that I think is reflective of where Georgia is now and where Georgia needs to be. It is partly about the integrity of the elections process. I often tell people that voting is sacred. John Lewis was one of my mentors. I knew him well. I spent a lot of time with him. He talked about voting is a sacred right that all Americans should have. And so I believe that whether you're Democrat or Republican, black or white, in Woodbine or in Kingsland or in Atlanta or in Macon, everybody should have the opportunity to vote. I want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to vote. Right now, I'm concerned about what's happening. The number of people who are applying right now for municipal elections for absentee ballots is down in many places around the state, including Fulton County, where I am living. And I believe that there's confusion right now about Senate Bill SB 202. And so the elections, the process of voting right now is down in the state of Georgia. And I believe that we need to really stress how important voting is. So voting, aspects of voting is very important, and I'm concerned about what the Republican Party is doing in terms of not only adding to confusion about voting, but how there's certain things in place that are designed to make it difficult for our population to vote. So I'm the former chairman of Fulton County government. I served for 11 years. And Fulton County is being targeted right now by the Republican-controlled legislature in terms of its so-called lack of performance. And Senate Bill 202 has a provision that if a county, whether it's Camden County, Carlton County, Glenn County, if it has any sort of problems, it can go under what's called a performance review, a 3-person board, and if the board recommends that it be taken over by the state elections board can take it over and put a temporary administrator, a superintendent, over the elections process. And so instead of a board of election officers overseeing elections in the county, one person can oversee it. That person can make decisions outside of the public view as opposed to what the elections board does right now. And that is not democratic and that's not fair. And so that is enemy number one in my opinion. Biggest concern that I have is about how the state can take over an elections board and almost indiscriminately choose somebody to oversee elections in a given county. Who knows who these people are? Who knows what makes them qualify? And they have unilateral ability to make decisions about voting in a particular county, not a board. And so that's the biggest concern that I have. And I believe that the Secretary of State should be about educating people about voting, should be working with voter registration groups to make sure that we have as many people registered to vote as possible, and to be advocates on behalf of voters, not being adversaries in terms of looking for the boogeyman that does not exist. So I believe that voting is incredibly important. But the Secretary of State's office is an executive position and has a wide range of responsibilities. That's just more than elections. It's more than overseeing the elections of the state of Georgia. It's more than managing the 8 million registered voters in Georgia. But it also has responsibility for the corporation's division, which is business development. And Georgia has 1.1 million small businesses in our state that employ 1.8 million employees. And I own 3 small businesses, and I pay a $100 fee every year so that my businesses are legal business entities in the state of Georgia. And that's $100 times 1.1 million small businesses. That means that's That's $101 million that the Secretary of State's office collects, and most of it goes to the general fund. I believe that those dollars should be used to support small businesses across the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
And so, to me, that's the second most important reason why I'm running and why this position is important is because in communities like Kingsland and St. Mary's and in Woodbine, it's the small business owner that is part of the economy, and those individuals need to be supported. And so I want to do all I can to support small businesses. Now, I also recognize how important diversity is in the state of Georgia. We are a state that's one of the most diverse states in the entire country. 49% of Georgia is non-white, 32% of Georgia is black. My background, even though I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, I did a DNA test. I'm 32% Nigerian. I'm also got Ghanaian in my blood, and I got 16% English in my blood. So I'm a pretty diverse person. So I embrace diversity. But having said that, when it comes to the diversity of our state benefiting from the business opportunities in our state, it is not diverse. So I am a big proponent of something called diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, I'm talking some Atlanta talk here, so forgive me, but that means that 32% of our state is black, 49% of it is non-white. Our state benefits from our diversity, but when it comes to economic opportunities, getting big contracts from state government, local governments, it's not much diversity. And I think that's wrong. And I believe that it's in the single digits. So when you talk about big contracts from the state government, from the big county governments, from the big city governments, does not go to black and brown people. Does not go to women. That's wrong. So as your Secretary of State, all the people who register for business in the state of Georgia, I'm going to ask an optional question. The optional question is, are you a female business owner? Are you a black business owner? Are you a veteran's business owner? I'm going to ask an optional question. And if you answer, I will have some baseline information. We have 10% of our contractors, 10% of our plumbers, 10% of our electricians, 10% of whatever is black or female. And then I'm going to look at the percentages of contracts that are awarded in the state. And if there is a big disparity between the population of people who own businesses in these areas and that those who are getting the awards of those businesses, is called a disparity gap. And I will make the case that the Georgia of 2022, 2023 can be a leader in the nation in terms of inclusion. We are a diverse state, 32% black, 49% non-white, 52% women. When it comes to contracts in terms of state and local contracts, we're going to have some sort of parity. We're going to have some evenness if we're going to be the state that we should be proud of. And the Secretary of State's office can be a major, major conduit to make that happen. When I was chairman of Fulton County, I'm proud about this. We procured $300 million worth of contracts every year. 35% to 40% went to women and black business owners in Fulton County. Everybody got a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Everybody in Georgia should get a piece of the pie.
Exactly.
I just believe that.
Yes.
I believe that. I was telling Kelvin Blue earlier, I went to Savannah Port.
Exactly.
I got a tour as a former chairman of Fulton County. I asked them for a tour of the Savannah Port. They allowed me to do a tour, look at all these cargo ships with 8,000 containers that come in. 6 big ships come in every day. billions and billions of dollars of goods and products. They unloaded from the big ships. Cranes take them off, put them onto these trucks, put them onto the trains that dropped into warehouses all over the state of Georgia. And the warehouses, it goes to Dollar General, it goes to Target, it goes to Publix. Then it goes into your living room, into your kitchen. On that board of 16 people, one black person and one woman. Why is that wrong? That does not reflect the diversity of our state. They make decisions about who gets access to the economics of the port industry. P-O-R, not pork, the P-O-R-T industry. The Port Authority. These warehouses, it should be women-owned. It should be black-owned. The whole logistical chain system is not diverse. And that's just one of many examples of how we are not included. And in the year 2021, 2022, that has got to change. It's got to change. And so as your Secretary of State, I want to be a proponent of all people voting, having access to voting, but I also think that the Secretary of State's office can be used in terms of business development, opportunities for all people, particularly people who've been cut out. And so, as I close out, am I qualified? Former chairman of Fulton County, 11 years. No scandals under my watch. Had a good reputation. I was known as being thoughtful. I was known as bringing people together. I was known as a person of integrity. I'm not perfect, but I still was known as a person having integrity. I did the right thing. I made some tough decisions. 11 years served as chairman of Fulton County. 7 years I served as the regional director of Peace Corps. Promoted the opportunity for Americans to go overseas. I managed an office. I have a PhD from University of South Carolina. Got a master's degree from Yale University. And above all, I'm a Morehouse man. I went to Morehouse College. And I'm a business owner. I've got 2 adult children. My son is at Duke University right now. My daughter is a senior at North Carolina A&T. And on top of it all, 3 months ago, I made a grandfather. So I'm proud about that. I'm running for Secretary of State for my granddaughter named Brielle, a beautiful brown young lady. And I want opportunities for her and everybody else to be limitless. I'm native from Georgia. Make it an offer that makes everybody for business opportunities accessible to everybody who wants it. And then the other thing about the office that people don't realize is the state licensing boards of professionals. It provides administrative support, but it can also talk about how those licensing requirements could possibly be revisited, because some of the licensing requirements are a reflection of a segregated era. It's not current in terms of today and all the diversity that it has. So, our friends here in Camden County, specifically in Kingsland, as well as those in Charleston County, I'm here. Thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity to speak. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that anyone has about my candidacy, my vision, and but I'm glad I'm here. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
All right. Questions, answers. Thank you. It's been a pleasure, a privilege. And what makes this super important, more than anything else, is we can say we were not forgotten as a county, as a party. Candidates are coming. There will be more. And with that, we have the opportunity to interview, to get to meet the real person, and not what you see on TV or what you heard from somebody. But instead, it's up to us, not hearsay, but the real person we have come into contact with. So if you don't get your questions in, your considerations in now, we did our part. The candidate did his part. Because we're going to push and ask for the support. So keep that in mind. Again, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming out. The floor is open for questions. We'll do 10, 15 minutes of questions, and we're going to close out. Anybody? Don't everybody speak at the same time.
Members actually vote on the chair, and would it be the chair of that board that certifies the elections then?
So the appointment comes from the chair comes from the state legislature. It's either the governor or the state legislature votes on the chair. So right now that position is vacant, and one of the Republican members of one of the Republican points is Sir Adams here. Let me just mention one thing about it. I'm about this. I want people to understand that I think it's important the best of Georgia is the first Georgia and representation. But I just want you to know that there's no black person on the state election. Even the and it's something not right when you have a significant part of the population that's black and not having representation on these boards. And the so the Democrats and so everything. So I'm kind of living a little question. So it's the responsibility. Prior to